Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my version or my go-to glowy makeup look for you guys. Recently I've been dabbling in more of the tinted moisturizers and the BB creams, cream bronzers, cream blushes, and I'm trying to find what works for me personally having combo skin. I did share this video, I will put it up here from my Instagram, but using a tinted moisturizer and then setting my entire face and the oil that breaks through on me personally after only a couple hours. So I definitely do get very oily in my T-zone if I do not use a matte foundation. So that's why I personally go for more matte products, but because it's hot outside and I want to have that really glowy skin, I'm going to show you the techniques and the products that I reach for personally having combo skin to give me that glowy look but also last throughout the day. Hopefully this is helpful to those of you that struggle with getting really oily in your T-zone or all over. Hopefully I recommend some products to you that can help you out and maybe allow you to do more of the glowy skin look but not have it slipping and sliding or separating or getting super greasy. So I will link all the products that I use today down below. This is going to be a very in-depth tutorial. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so I've zoomed you in and we're gonna start on the eyes. I actually have been going pretty late on the eyes recently just in general, but I really like to do a softer look on my eyes when I'm doing more of a dewy complexion. That's just a personal preference for me. So I'm gonna go into my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, and I'm gonna take this shade right here and just do a soft color in the crease just to give me a little bit of definition, just so my lid doesn't look so washed out. And we are gonna be doing pretty bronzy look, so I want to make sure that everything ties in together. And I did use my Kosas concealer as my eye base. I've been really liking that or the new Hailey's Beauty concealer because my eyelids are so dry. The P. Louise base I was using just is too drying lately. So next I want to do a small wing, but instead of using an eyeliner or an eyeshadow, I'm actually going to use a brow pen. These are really nice because they're not as pigmented as an eyeliner. They give you a softer look and they come in a lot of shades of brown. So I'm going to use the Lime Crime Bushy Brow in Baby Brown. It just has the same tip, actually a smaller tip than most eyeliners, and I can really be precise, but also it just has a softer look. So it should look something like this. It's really easy to use, and because it's not as intense, it just looks a little bit softer than a liquid liner. I also do like to use the KVD tattoo liner in Mad Max Brown, but that still is a little bit deeper. So this is a nice option if you have a brow pen like this and you're just like, it's not really the right shade for me, or you don't use it a lot, but you want to find a use for it. I feel like this is a really nice product to give you a softer wing look. So now that I have my wings done, I'm going to use some mascara. I love the Lily Lashes XXX mascara, and I really want to use a mascara that really pumps up my lashes because I'm only going to be putting on very small outer corner lashes. So I want to try to really make my lashes as dramatic as possible, especially on the inner corner here. You can see I really love this mascara, although I probably just got it on my lid. I'm pretty certain I did, so I'll have to clean that up. Anytime I really try to like beef my lashes up, I always get it on my lid. So I've curled my lashes again just to really make them pop, and I'm gonna go in with some really small outer corner lashes. These are from Amy June Lashes. I will link the style down below, but I just want to apply these right on the outer corner to make my eyes look a little bit more elongated. So lashes are on, and I want to start on the base. So it's really important for me to use the right products and techniques so that I'm able to wear a more hydrated foundation and still keep it on all day. So that's kind of the struggle. I am going to start with my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. I already applied a little bit, but I'm going to apply a little bit more. I really feel like this helps under my eyes where I have just dryness and a little bit of fine lines I'm noticing recently that have been bothering me. So I've been trying this, and then I have another eye cream I'm using at night that's more anti-aging. I never really used to use these products, but being 33, I feel like I'm noticing things that I didn't notice before. So next I'm gonna moisturize my skin. I'm just gonna use my Freck moisturizer that I love. You really wanna moisturize your skin even if you're oily or you're gonna be wearing more hydrating products. It's just something that you wanna do every single time. So I'm going to really apply this all over the face, focusing on the areas that I tend to be more dry. This is a staple moisturizer for me. I just love how it sits under makeup, how it feels. It's really hydrating, but it doesn't get gunky under your foundation. And to add a little bit more glow, I'm gonna go in with my Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. This is one of my favorites. I probably will repurchase it when I run out because I did get the mini size. I like that this doesn't add heaviness or enhance my texture, but it does give me just more of that glowy base. So I like to, again, focus it more where I'm not as oily. So really avoiding my T-zone. I don't really mind if my forehead gets a little bit oily, but really around my nose and my chin. Try to avoid that. So now I'm nice and hydrated. I have that primer on and I'm going to use a oil control moisturizer in the center of my face. One of my favorites is the e.l.f. Oil Control Liquid Lotion. I've talked about this multiple times. There was one from Lancome I used to like, but I don't have it in my collection anymore. If you have any matte primers, let me know what your favorites are. But I just take about 2 pumps of this and put it only in my T-zone. It's a very liquidy product and it does smell sort of like tea tree, but it really helps. It's kind of like tea tree and perfume. The scent is a little bit, it's a little strong, but it doesn't, you know, irritate me or anything. But I like to really focus this where I get very oily, which is right in here. Again, I don't really mind my forehead getting dewy, but I do feel like my chin and right here where my pores are enlarged, that's where I get the most oily. So now we have our skin prepped. So because I'm combo, I like to be very hydrated on the outside of my face and then control my oil in the center. If you're oily all over, you could use that e.l.f. all over as your moisturizer. It really just depends. But I think one of the biggest things is finding a dewy or luminous foundation that works for you. Everybody's gonna be different, but I have really had good luck with the Armani Luminous Silk. It is hydrating and luminous, but it's not greasy. It's not slipping and sliding. It still wears quite well on me. Another trick you can do, which I'm going to show you today, is mixing a dewy foundation in with a matte foundation. So you have a little bit more of that budge proof because you're putting in a little bit of a matte, maybe a little bit more coverage in this case, but really you still get that luminous skin-like finish. You just get this to lock it in a little bit more. So I am gonna be mixing the Armani Luminous Silk in 5.75 with my NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation in Stromboli. I'm gonna use about 2 pumps of the Armani and like a little bit of the NARS. You can also do something like putting the matte in your T-zone and the dewy on the perimeters of your face, which is something that I want to start playing with more just because I do tend to get so oily right here, but I really feel dry on my forehead. So you can kind of customize it, but I would say if you're looking for something that is dewy and it's not overly greasy, heavy, slipping and sliding, breaking up, getting super oily, I've had good luck with the Luminous Silk. So I'm going to be using that today because you can still get a really nice, flawless look, but you get that just skin-like finish that I feel like I want to have, but my skin doesn't cooperate with. So to apply all of my cream products and my powder, I am partnering with Stands Out Beauty for this portion of the video to demo their sponge and tell you how I personally use it, why I love it. I bought this sponge years ago and I used to rave about this sponge on my channel if you go back to older videos. Somehow I lost it in my collection and then they did send me multiple sponges a couple months back and I have fallen back in love with it. So I decided to partner with them on this because I really believe in this product. I think it's such a unique product on the market, and you'll see as I use it why I love it. It's super easy to use because you don't have to wet it. It doesn't get larger when you wet it, so it stays the same size. Now you do want to wet the sponge the first few times you use it, but after that you're golden. So I love it because I can grab it, start using it, and I don't have to be like, crap, I forgot to get it wet, which is something that I have been guilty of so many times. It's soft whether it's wet or dry, and you can see that it actually gets really tiny and then puffs right back up. I feel like the biggest complaint that I have personally, and I see others say about sponges, is that they're too hard and they just sort of like feel like you're using a rock on your face. This is the complete opposite. It's just very, very soft. So you can use these small corners right here just to get in under your eye, but you can use the larger side to do your face quickly. So it's kind of customizable in the sense that you can really move this sponge however you see fit to get into those crevices, or keep it large to really go over your face and get your foundation done quickly. I'm gonna be using it for foundation, concealer, cream blush, and even powders. It's kind of an all-in-one tool. Stands Out Beauty also offers free shipping on all US orders. So I will leave a link down below to the sponge and their website so you can check it out, but let's go ahead and get into the actual demo. So I have the two foundations on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take the sponge and lightly dip in and start applying. So I'm going to try to target more of the matte in my T-zone. I like to use the flat side here personally, and then in tighter spaces around my brows and my forehead, I just pinch it. So it's really easy because you can pretty much customize the shape that you want. Just like right here by my brow. So now that we have our foundation down, I want to go in with a hydrating concealer. I'm going to be using the Kosas Revealer Concealer in 03. And I'm just going to take a very small amount. I don't really like to use a lot. And then to blend it out, I just pinch the sponge so I can get right up where I need to get to blend, just because I have that darkness in there. And then I can just kind of turn it to get under my wing here, but also using that corner to get right up close. I also like it because you can kind of use that corner to really sharpen under your wing. So our base is on. I feel like we look nice and hydrated, but not greasy. Everything blended beautifully with the Stands Out sponge. I'm gonna take my Huda Beauty Pound Cake powder, and I'm really going to press into the T-zone. So under my eyes, around my nose, and my chin area, and then we're gonna use a different powder for the rest of my face. So I have the powder on the sponge, and I am going to start pressing it in right under the eye. Also going to pull it down like I normally do, just using pressing motions. This sponge is so soft. So I'm going in on the other side now, pulling it down. Okay, so we've set down our T-zone. It's very smooth and matte. So to powder the rest of my face, I'm gonna be using the Dior Powder No Powder. This is an interesting formula because it's very light and it doesn't really give you that matte look, but it still kind of locks things in. So I'm gonna use the same side of the sponge and I'm going to swirl in there. And again, I'm using pressing motions here. If you have drier skin, you would probably love this powder all over. Also gonna pull it on the perimeters of my face. Again, just pressing in. So I finished my brows and I wanna bronze up the skin. I'm gonna be using the Nabla Skin Bronzing Powder in Ombre. I like to use a more, I guess, glowy bronzer just to give that effect without actually using a cream. So I'm really just buffing this into the skin. This is a buildable bronzer, so definitely not an intense bronzer that you go overboard with, but it still gives you that nice warmth. And I like that it has a glow to it, but it is not like a thick powder because it has that baked formula. So next I want to move on to blush, and I'm definitely going to be using a cream formula. Today I really want to go in with something that's just going to give me that really pretty flush. I'm going to be using the Melt Cosmetics Honey Thief Cream Blush Light. It's such a gorgeous color, and I'm going to flip my sponge over and just use the side that I hadn't used yet. Dip into the product and you can see that it's very pigmented, but this is one of the easier formulas to work with. So I'm just going to kind of dab it on the back of my hand before I go in. And I'm going to start pressing this on my cheeks. So I love a cream blush that can go over powders, which this Melt does. And I always use a sponge to apply. That's what I love about cream blushes that go over powder. They give me that really pretty flush, but they also give me the look of dewier skin without having to like cover them and set them with powder. They go over the powder. So I'm even gonna pull some of it up here. Do a little bit up here. And then to highlight, I really wanna choose a highlighter that gives me that wet look. I'm gonna use the Makeup by Mario Soft Glow Highlighter in the shade Pearl. And I'm gonna use a smaller brush, and I really want to swirl and buff this into the skin so it looks wet. So I'm using very light pressure, and I just want to swirl and buff. Also gonna do some on my Cupid's bow, and I usually don't, but I'm gonna put just a little bit on my forehead and my chin. And I'm even gonna pop some right here on my inner corner. To finish off the eyes, I'm just gonna take a little bit of that Nabla bronzer, and I just wanna put a little bit on the lower lash line. For lips, I'm going to line with my Sorme Cosmetics in Nude Number 7. For lipstick, I want to do something a little bit more glowy, glossy, so I'm going to use a YSL Lipstick Balm in the shade 86. This is just going to give me like that beautiful Your Lips But Better. Okay, so we're almost done, but I want to go in and add a little bit of this Tower 28 blush in After Hours. I'm going to use the same sponge, just grab a little bit. I really want to punch up the cheeks a little bit. This is a really beautiful berry tone. I'm going to keep it back here a little bit. I hope you guys can see that difference. This sponge is like literally perfect. Woo! For cream products, because it's so soft that you don't have to really be careful. Like you can just kind of bounce and it just distributes it so lightly. I'm gonna take a little tiny bit of this Lottie London. I mean like a little bit. This is sort of a dupe for the Fenty Beauty, I think it's called the Diamond Balm highlighter. And I'm just sweeping this. Look how pretty that is. So we're almost done, but I want to finish off with setting spray. This is a very important step to help the longevity of your makeup, but also give you a glow. I'm going to start with a glowy setting spray. This is the Patrick Ta She's Thirsty Major Glow Dewy Milk Mist. I'm going to try to keep this out of my T-zone, but really use it to enhance the glow that I have going on my cheeks and my forehead. So almost just applying it on the perimeter of my face. And then again, you can take your sponge and just lightly tap in so you don't have any marks. And the final step is going to be locking everything in with a long-lasting setting spray. My favorite is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush. This is my second bottle. What I like about this is it doesn't make you look dry. It really locks your makeup in, but it doesn't give you a dry, cracky, matte feel. But this is always going to prolong the wear of your makeup, so I definitely recommend this, especially if you're doing dewy makeup. So I really saturate myself with it. and then just sort of fan my skin. All right, guys, here's my finished makeup look using more hydrating products to give me that glowy base that's going to last all day. So I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe found some products that can help you achieve more of that natural glowy look without it slipping and sliding and breaking up. I will link all the products I talked about today down below in my description box. I will have the Stands Out sponge at the top of my description box. Highly recommend checking it out. This is such a convenient sponge. It is so soft. You don't have to wet it. You literally can use this for powders, creams. You can move it to wherever you need it to be. I really love this for a cream blush. If you're a cream product lover, the way this applied just so effortlessly, it's so incredibly soft and bendable that you can get right in where you need to on your concealer, as I did. You can use it for powder. It's just really wowing me. I tried this sponge years ago and loved it, and then somehow along the way I lost track of it. So when they resent me these, I was very excited because I remember loving it so much. And I still love it. It's a phenomenal sponge, and I love that I don't have to wet it. Because I'm lazy, let's be real, and I can just grab it and go. So I highly recommend this. It'll be at the top of my description box. Everything else will be down below. But I wanna know, what are your favorite products for that dewy look? If you have combo skin or oily skin, what products or techniques do you use to give you that more natural glowy base without it breaking up or patching off? So I'd love to know your feedback down below. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.